Good day, students. This is teacher Shilpa Adkar. Today, we'll be studying lesson 3.2 in English, The Night I Met Einstein. This story was narrated by Jerome Weidman. He was an American playwright and novelist. He was of Jewish background. Weidman earned a number of prestigious awards such as the Pulitzer Prize in Drama, the New York Drama Critics Circle Award, and the Tony Award in 1960 for the musical play Fiorello, which ran 795 nights on Broadway. He collaborated with George Abbott, Jerry Bock, and Sheldon Harnick for his music and lyrics. A musical version of I Can Get It For You Wholesale ran for 300 nights and was later made into a feature length film in 1951. Weidman retained his audience because he was good at storytelling. His works are still read widely and continued to be studied seriously. Let us go to reading of the lesson. Let us begin. When I was a very young man, I was invited to dine at the house of a philanthropist. After a wonderful dinner, our hostess took us to a large drawing room. Chairs were being arranged. Let us go back a little and see to the meanings also. Dine is to have dinner. Hostess, a woman who invites guests to a social event. Chairs were being arranged. I'm arranging the chairs for a concert, my hostess said. We are going to listen to a very good pianist. Concert is performance of music by players or singers, and pianist, someone who plays the piano. Though everyone else was very happy, I was not. I did not understand classical music. I thought I was tone deaf. Tone deaf is unable to hear the difference between high and low notes of music. I sat down so that I would not be impolite and waited for the concert to begin. I did not pay attention to the music after it began. After a while, I heard everyone clapping, so I realized that the piece was over. Just then, I heard a gentle but firm voice saying, You're fond of Bach? I knew as much about Bach as I did about nuclear physics. I was going to say something ordinary so that I could get out of the situation. I turned in order to look at my neighbor and I saw a very famous face. It was someone with a shock of white hair and a pipe. I knew that I must tell this man the truth. He looked at me as if my answer was very important. I do not know anything about Bach, I said. I have never heard any of his music. He looked surprised. You have never heard of Bach? He asked. He made it sound as if I had said that I had never taken a bath. I'd like to understand music so that I could understand Bach, I said. But I'm not able to. I'm tone deaf. Let's see to the explanation. Once a writer was invited for dinner at the house of a philanthropist. A philanthropist is a person who donates generous amount of money for good causes and seeks to promote the welfare of others. After dinner, the hostess took all the guests to a large drawing room where they were going to listen to a very good pianist. Everyone was happy, but not the writer, because he did not understand classical music and was unable to get the difference between the high and low notes of music. He sat down as it would be impolite not to, but he did not pay any attention to the music. When the piece of music was over, a firm voice asked him if he was fond of Bach. The writer did not know anything about Bach and turned to get a good look at the man sitting next to him. He saw someone with white hair and smoking a pipe. The writer told the man that he knew nothing about Bach and also told him that he was tone deaf. Let's continue reading. The old man got up. You will come with me, he asked. I just remained seated. I'm requesting you to come with me, he said again. So I went up with him. He took me to a room which had a gramophone in it and asked, what kind of music do you like? A gramophone is a machine for playing recorded music. Well, I answered, I like songs that have words and the kind of music where I can follow the tune. He smiled and nodded, obviously pleased. You can give me an example, perhaps? I told him I like anything by Bing Crosby. At once, I could hear Bing Crosby's voice filling the room. Now, can you please tell me what you just heard? He said. The simplest answer seemed to be to sing the lines, so I sang it back to him. He smiled. You're not tone deaf, he said. I told him this was one of my favorite songs, something I had heard hundreds of times, so it didn't really prove anything. Nonsense, said Einstein. It proves everything. Do you remember your first arithmetic lesson in school? Suppose, at the very first contact with words, your teacher had ordered you to work out a problem in, say, long division or fractions. Could you have done it? Let's see to the explanation. The old man took him to a room which had a gramophone and asked him what kind of music he liked. The writer said that he liked songs which have words and the kind of music where he can follow the tune. When the writer told him that he liked Bing Crosby, the old man played it for him. The old man confirmed that the writer was not tone deaf as he sang the song and seemed to enjoy it also. The writer insisted that he enjoyed and sang the song as he had heard it hundreds of times and that really proved nothing. Einstein persisted that it did prove everything. He said that it was like the first arithmetic lesson in school. The old man questioned as to what would have happened if the maths teacher would have asked him to work on a word problem, long divisions, or difficult fractions without knowing the basics. Would he have been able to do it? Let's continue. No, of course not. Exactly. It's like learning maths. You have to learn addition and subtraction in order to do multiplication and division. Now, I'm playing something a little more advanced. It was John McCormack singing The Trumpeter. Sing that back, he ordered. And we went on from level to higher level until he was playing just music without words. I was amazed that this great man was paying complete attention to me so that I could learn something new. It was as if I was the most important person in his world. Suddenly, he got up and turned off the gramophone. Now, young man, he said, we are ready to listen to Bach. We went down and sat in the hall. Just allow yourself to listen, he said. That's all there is to it. I have heard that piece many times since that day. But I am never alone. I am sitting beside a small man with a shock of untidy hair and a pipe in his mouth. He has eyes that are unusually warm. When the concert ended, I too was able to clap sincerely. Our hostess came towards us. We both stood up. I'm so sorry, Dr. Einstein, she said, giving me a cold look that you missed so much. I'm sorry too, he said. My young friend here and I, however, were engaged in the greatest activity of which a human being is capable. She looked puzzled. Really? She said. And what is that? Einstein smiled and put his arm across my shoulders, opening the frontiers of beauty. Let's see to the explanation. The writer responded that he would never be able to solve lengthy problems directly. The old man agreed and said that music is also like learning maths. It is necessary to learn addition and subtraction in order to do multiplication and division. Then the old man played a little advanced music, that is, John McCormack singing The Trumpeter, and asked the writer to sing along. They went on playing music from one level to another level. After some time, they were listening to just music without words and enjoying it also. The writer was amazed that the old man was considering him the most important person in the world, paying him undivided attention and helping him learn something new. The old man had increased the narrator's understanding of higher forms of music. The old man told the writer that now he was ready to listen to Bach and asked him to just listen. The writer said that after that day he had heard that piece of music a number of times, and it had always been in the company of the old man. The writer always felt the presence of the old man next to him when he enjoyed the music. When the concert that they had been invited to came to an end, the hostess came to them. She apologized that the old man, that is, Dr. Einstein, had missed so much of the concert. Dr. Einstein replied with great satisfaction that the writer and he were engaged in the greatest activity which a human being is capable of. The hostess inquired with surprise what that would be. Dr. Einstein replied that it was to open up the frontiers of beauty. Einstein believes in making others understand the joy there is in knowing the beauty that is all around us. For Dr. Einstein, opening the minds of others to the application of beauty was the highest form of human activity. We learn from this lesson that Dr. Einstein had a keen ear for music, and the writer was tone deaf and could not understand music. Einstein was patient and polite and taught the writer to appreciate classical music. We have come to the end of the lesson. Please read the lesson carefully and write the answers in your books. This is your grammar assignment. Please write this in your grammar notebook. Complete all your grammar assignments in your grammar notebooks. The answers can be checked later on. Thank you.